All right, so we're going to continue with the flat coloring and adding things in, but I'm going to show you a very common circumstance that happens in coloring your work. What if your line art is not fully contained, right? So I'm going to rasterize, I'm going to do a big no-no. I made a duplicate of my vector line art, I rasterized it so that I can delete part of it. Like there's just going to be a little gap right here that I didn't notice. Right, in this line art. And so when I go to color it, watch what happens. I use my magic wand, I select it to color, and sure enough, it spills out of that opening, and it selects everything. So then when I go to color it, let's do a really bold color here with my paint bucket, do the red. It colors a lot more than I wanted it to. So how do I control that? Really, the only easy way to do that is to use your magic wand and to just, or your lasso rather, and just draw within your black outlines. Because you can cut your own color shapes and then paint them in, even if the line is open. Another way you can do that, if you follow me and understand me, right? So you can always make your own selections. Another way you can do it is, especially when it's kind of harder to tell, is make a rasterized version of your black line art, like I did here. So duplicate that black line art because it's a vector, duplicate it, rasterize that, and then just with your brush, paint in at 100% something that contains it, right? Doesn't even need to be with black. So that then you can go to that layer and select it and have it contained. And then go back and paint. And then the only line that's going to matter is the vector line art, right? But that will keep it contained too. And then ultimately, what can you also do, though it takes a lot more time? Ultimately, you can simply take your brush and paint in your colors behind your lines. So this is if any gaps don't need filling. Right? It's just, this is a whole lot sloppier than being able to use this paint bucket. Right? And it can be a lot slower. And it depends, as you can see, on my brush settings. Now, my line art is all perfectly contained. So what I was working on was the lightest colors. So I'm going to not use white. You see how it's a little bit off of the corner? I'm going to instead use this kind of creamish skin color. And I'm going to use that with my magic wand to fill in the, what am I trying to say? The wing. Hold down Shift and decide what else do I want that color. Maybe every other one of these underside portions, right? Remember, it's not white. All right, and let's fill it in. Let's try it. Then I got to move to my cheese layer. It's the only one it will let me paint on. Very important to lock your layers as you go. Now you see they all fill in because without the line art, they're all kind of free floating. All right, what's next? Well, I've done very warm colors so far, so let's get with the reds. I'm going to hold down Option, choose my next color. And now I have to select where. I'm going to do the eyes. all the centers of these. And if you're having trouble controlling where it selects with the magic wand tool, it's right at the tip of the wand. That little white tip of the wand is the pixel you are selecting, or the space you are selecting to fill. I'm going to move down here and then paint. Now this is interesting. Notice for the first time, it's not filling them all in. And that's because there is now enough separation between them from the other coloring I've done, because they're separated by the yellow circles, right? So if I just click anywhere, it's not going to fill them all in because all of them are protected by other pixels. And as we fill more and more in, that becomes the case. All right, that's looking good. Okay, now what's next? Maybe a light blue. I'm going to try the sky blue here. And remember, as long as we get something in, this is the flatting. We can always change it later. The hardest thing is finding good colors. And I'm going to put that light blue on all of these other bottom stripes. So when you have to, and it's really narrow, I have to zoom in, Command plus, hold down Shift. You use the top of the magic wand to gauge what's filling in. All right, and then this should fill in all at once on my flat color layer. There we go. So far, so good. And now I think I got to do some of the greens. Let's see, let's do that kind of turquoisey green. I'm going to take that color reference that's down here, and I'm going to take it off of multiply. So I have to unlock it to do that. And then lock it again. And I'll just move those behind my flat color now. There we go. So let's steal a color from here. What would be a good other color to use? This kind of greenish turquoise. So while I'm on the paint bucket tool, I'll hold down Option, steal that color. See it in my foreground, see it here. Now choose what I want to fill with that with my magic wand. And I'm going to do this, and this, and this, and this, and this. So on and so forth. And I'm just experimenting at this point, right? And then go to my color layer, the only one that is unlocked. So I'm always painting where I want to be painting, and then drop it in. And now I'm going to do this green here. It's kind of olive green. Choose it there, choose it there, choose it there, choose it here, choose it here. See how that works. Pretty good. And then this is what's fun, is now that I've filled in almost everything. Let's see. Actually, I've filled in everything now. Excellent. So those are not my final flat colors, but this is like the flatting step, this step, or this step. I've got everything filled in, or this step, right? I've got everything filled in, and I give you a link here. It's a blog all about flatting artwork. I haven't looked at it in a while, but let's see if it's still going. Yeah. So this will take all these different comics. It's all about digital coloring. And it will kind of showcase the process of flatting to finished color. So you can see the flats there. Oh, this is a great artist. This is on Jeff Darrow's work. And then that gets changed to this, right? So flats can be really, really helpful. Again, the difficulty is finding the right colors. So you just want to be able to select them easily. So we're still in that flatting phase. So now that I have them, if I want to try something else, I don't need to select it from my line art anymore. I can just do it right on there. In fact, I'll make a duplicate of my cheese layer. And now I'm just going to try more variations. Like I just drop them in where I want them. Just to break it up. I'll alternate these. Okay, and then let's see. The red of the eye, let's see if I can go a little bit deeper with it. And I can always adjust it. I'm not limited to only using colors that I can select from my reference. I can always just shift them here. But it gives me a good sense of which ones are in good harmony together. All right, what else? Maybe this green. Yeah. It's starting to work. And then I don't like how drab this crown looks. So let's get some other yellows. And I tend towards more golden yellows. So you can also shift them this way. No, it's not good. No. Let's see. Maybe this yellow. It's a little better. All right. Let's try that orange and shifting that a little bit lighter. Maybe a little bit yellower. So this is the getting the color right part. This can be tough. Because ultimately, if all you do is have flat color, you still want it to look good as a spot illustration on a variety of backgrounds. So it should work on white, and that works pretty well on white. It should work on gray. It should work on black. You can make a duplicate of the gray and then fill it with 100% black. Yeah, so I think that's at least passable flat color for me. But that's your first step, right? So now I save my work, Command S. And now I've done this step. I've gotten the flat color step done. If we're looking at Wonder Woman, I've gotten to, whoops, let's go back. I've gotten to this step. Kind of filled it in with flats. This is called flat local color because what I'm saying is no matter the lighting condition that this snake is in, this feathered snake, those are the local colors that it is, right? That's the color of its skin. All right. Now it is saved. Now I'm going to